93 Rockets, Ponch and the Workday Crews. I have a very special guest on the line today, Mr. Brad Coletti from a great band out of Tucson, Arizona. They're called Scare Card. They've got a new EP out there. We're going to hear some music from it in just a little while. Brad, thanks for checking in today.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, very cool. I see you online. I see you're doing some of the KISS shows. I see we basically were friends on Facebook before I realized you were even in a band. Then I find out you're in Scare Card, listen to the music. Pretty awesome stuff. Tell us a little bit about the band and what kind of music you play.
Absolutely, brother, and thank you, by the way. So we've been together a couple years, hard rock band, and we're just a good bunch of brothers, you know, that are all in it for the same thing, just to have fun and enjoy being around each other.
Well, it shows in the music, and I can tell by listening to it that you guys are really into the harmonies, the playing of the guitar harmonies, the vocal harmonies, and the melodies of songs. Sometimes that gets lost in music nowadays.
I absolutely agree, and I just don't think enough bands are really doing that anymore. You know, I loved a lot of the 70s stuff with harmony guitars and vocals, as you mentioned, and I wouldn't say we're bringing it back, but we're just kind of it's a lost art, I think, in a lot of the music today. So we're happy to do it.
Yeah, definitely. I was checking out the songs. It's a 5-song EP. How long have you guys been together? Have you been on the road a long time? And how does the writing process go within the band?
Yeah, we've been together for 2 years. We're doing a lot of shows locally. We've had a pretty successful year last year. We did a lot of shows with national acts, so we kind of stayed home doing those shows. We opened for Bret Michaels, Slaughter, Lynch Mob, Red Sun Rising, Jack Russell's Great White, and I think there was a couple others in there. So those were great shows that we were actually able to stay in town and do. We do plan on branching out and hitting maybe the Southwest Circuit, you know, Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, California, Utah, sort of that whole Southwest Circuit, just kind of start there and see where that takes us.
How long was it before you guys decided, let's start writing some original stuff?
Immediately. That was our focus right out of the gate. I had a bunch of riffs. All the guys in the band had songs and pieces, and so when we got together, that was our main focus. You know, we weren't out to write songs that changed the world, but we wanted to do stuff that we enjoyed playing. That was fun for us and hopefully fun for everybody else. But first and foremost, it had to be something that sounded good to us and it was fun to play.
Well, you can't talk about a band and writing music without influences where it came from, where music comes from, and I think you know where I'm going with this. You and I are on the same page as far as 70s music and the music of KISS. What kind of impact did KISS and Ace Frehley in particular as far as playing guitar have on you?
Man, you know what? To me, it was everything, you know, and it's funny, I was kind of a little bit of a latecomer when it came to KISS. I think I was a fan. I started around Love Gun era, about 1977. I had a neighbor that was a huge KISS fan, and, you know, I'd go over and I'd hear some songs. I'm like, cool, sounds good, you know, and I thought the image was great. But my sister got the Love Gun album for her birthday, and I said, hey, let me check that out. Let me listen to that, you know. And the second I put that on, and, you know, Here and I Stole Your Love and Shock Me and Hooligan and Almost Human, and then I'm sitting there, you know, looking at the album, and I'm just like, just blown away. Ace's solos transcended everything to me, you know, and still to this day, that's how I feel. You know, a lot of folks are into, you know, guitar players that are, you know, arpeggios and all these crazy wicked speed and all that. That's not what it's about for me. It's never been that way. It's been all about the feel, and to me, Ace is just one of those guys that just has that feel. He's always done what's right for the song. He's never, you know, gone overboard, you know, and then tie in the image, the way he looked and, you know, his persona on stage. It just was everything for me. And honestly, I don't think I'd be playing guitar today if it wasn't for Ace.
That's funny because it was my big sister's Love Gun album as well that did it for me. Looking at the picture was actually an 8-track, and I'd put the 8-track in and listen, then I'd have to pull it out again to look at the photo and then put it back in and listen to some more of the music. So we kind of got to start the same way listening to that music. Does some of that stuff, there's got to be some licks of Ace's that feed their way into your band solos at times?
Absolutely, yeah. In fact, if you listen to this EP, there are a couple of solos. In particular, there's a song called Break Free that we did, and there's the second half of the solo. That's a little bit, I'm not ripping off Ace, but it's a little bit in the vein of him for sure. You can certainly hear a lot of his influences in what I'm playing. You know, I tried to make it my own with all the other influences because, yes, 70s bands were just huge for me. You know, all the monster guitar bands, Boston and, you know, Styx and ELO and, you know, all those amazing guitar bands are what I still listen to today. So I kind of just threw everything in one pile and sort of just did my own thing from that. Of course, with Ace being the leader in the forefront as far as my main influence.
That's the way to do it for sure. And we're going to be listening to a song called Scare Card. Tell us about the band name and that song in particular.
Yeah, the band name. That's kind of a funny question. We joked. As you know, trying to come up with a band name is probably one of the hardest things on earth to come up with. It just is. I mean, finding something, A, that everybody agrees with, B, a name that hasn't already been used, it's just difficult. So we had a lot of fun with it, man. I'd say for like over a month, we just messaged each other at practice. We just threw names out left and right and crazy, crazy stuff. And then finally, I think my singer one day, kind of threw out Scare Card. And it's funny, the first thing I thought was, I remember the movie Monsters, Inc., and there's a scene in there where they talk about a scare card, and I was like, hey, that's kind of cool. And, of course, right away, I'm online looking to see if that name has been used, and it hasn't. So we're like, okay, let's roll with that. And that's where the name came from. And it's funny, when that name was thrown out, nobody laughed. Everybody was laughing and joking about all the other names, but that one seemed to stick. So that's what we went with.
And what about the song? Tell me about that.
Yeah, the song Scare Card itself, funny you mentioned, because that's a riff that I wrote. A lot of times I'll come in, I don't finish a lot of songs. I just come in with, hey, check out this riff, and if the guys like it, then we build on it, and then we assemble it together. Somebody will come up with a bridge or change a chord here and there. But the main thing, and it's funny we talked about the Kiss Love Gun album, because a little bit of the intro has a little bit of Almost Human in it, where it's got kind of that harmony kind of under guitar from the intro, and that's where that came from. So I came up with the intro riff and a lot of the parts, and then again as a band we assembled it. I was actually away for a couple weeks and wasn't at rehearsal, and I think the guys ended up putting it together, and it blew me away. So that's where Scare Card came from. And it's not really an anthem, but we sort of wanted to write a song about Scare Card, and that's what that's about.
And I play a lot of poker, so the term Scare Card does get thrown around a lot. So it's familiar to the ear, sounds great, the song is great. We're going to hear it in just a couple of minutes. Brad Coletti of the band Scare Card out of Tucson, Arizona. Thanks for checking in today. Good luck with the band. How can we find you online?
Absolutely, brother. You can find us on Facebook. It's going to be Scare Card AZ, which is for Arizona. Or just search Scare Card. You'll find us pretty easy. We're on Reverb Nation. You can find our EP and our first CD that we released on iTunes, CD Baby, pretty much all your digital outlet places online. Or reach out to us on our Facebook page, and we'd be happy to get one to you. And so that's how you can reach us.
All right, very cool. Brad Coletti, Scare Card. Thanks for checking in today. Let's get into a song from the EP. This is the title track, Scare Card, on 93 Rock.
Crank it up.
Table with my boys all around me, been sipping whiskey all day. The dealer throws the cards with wondering eyes. He fears the card I drew will have its place. They try to count what I have in my hand. I can't believe it's not so bad. Around me, watch the sun going down. I place my bed with an upside down frown. I drew a scare card, it was just my luck. He had a dead man's hand, I called